Hey everybody, I'm Monty Mont.
I'm Joe.
Holy Shinobi.
I'm Shep.
And the Fast and Furious franchise. Yes, we seen it. All right. Oh boy, this might have to be a two-parter, y'all. We got 9.5 movies to try to get through, if you include the Hobbs and Shaw, but we are going to get into it. We're going to do our best. This is We Seen It, part of the We Seen It crew. Hope you guys have been enjoying already some content we've been putting out. As you can see, we got different people, man. I know you guys are maybe used to on this network. You see just me on shareholders, just me and Tiff on our favorite scenes. But this show, man, is all encompassing. So it's different lineups all the time, depending on the movie or the show and the expertise. So I had to bring on, of course, one of our regulars, the great Shinobi is back once again. Sir, how are you today?
Doing good. Ready to talk about family.
It's all about family, okay? It's all about family for sure. Next up, of course, we need some muscle in the room. He is our Dom, so to speak, of the circle we're in. He also works on his car, puts on a lot of aftermarket things, so I figured he was qualified for this. Joe, what's up, bro?
Hey, man, happy to be here, man. Fast and Furious is a very special series to my heart, so I'm glad I could get on this one.
Yes. And then an unapologetic fan of every movie of this series. So just so you know, we're not biased. He poured his heart out a week or so ago. I heard him talking about it, so I said, well, let me see if he's free. Shep in the building. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? And what's up, Monty? Glad to be here. Fast and Furious, man. Greatness should be awarded. Okay.
Wow, okay.
I'm ready to talk about it.
I mean, you already see where he's coming from. Okay, so let's first get through the details. This is, of course, coming off the heels of F9 that just came out a couple of weeks ago. The 9th installment. Again, if you want to say 10th, counting Hobbs and Shaw, we'll get to that. But I just want to let people know this is one of the highest grossing franchise film series, if you count all of them. And real quick, we're talking, so we have the MCU, which is, of course, number one. We have Star Wars. We have the Harry Potter series. We have James Bond is in there. And then right after that is Fast and Furious. And they kind of break up MCU a couple different ways, Spider-Man, blah, blah, blah. But the Fast and Furious comes in around 7th at $6 billion, almost $6.5 billion with all the films. So this ain't no joke, man. This is a real big deal. That's why they keep making these movies and they keep doing more ridiculous things, which we will get to. Okay, so first of all, is anybody surprised by that number when I said that number 6 point? I should have asked you guys what you thought.
No.
Yeah, no. I didn't think so. And so very quickly, actually, we'll do a little trivia now. Does anybody know what is the highest grossing of the movies? Anybody got any guesses on that? I was a little surprised by this one.
Ooh, yes.
7?
I would.
Shep, you gonna say 7?
That's tough.
Okay.
Is it Tokyo Drift?
7. Tokyo Drift is that's the third one. So you ain't going Tokyo Drift, I'm sure you.
Yeah, we don't count that one. I would guess 5. I would guess Fast 5.
Right. And 5 was my
5 makes the sense. It's the sensible choice.
But apparently the biggest fan in the room is right. It is 7. 7 pulled in 1.5. 8 pulled in 1.2. 6 pulled in 788 million. When I say 1.5, I mean billion. 1.2 billion. 6 put in 788 million. This all has to be some weird inflation stuff. F9 has over 650 million, and then Fast 5 is at 626, which I feel is crazy. And rounding out the bottom end is Tokyo Drift at 158 million. So, but again, that's 2006. We're in 2020. I know inflation does have some things to do with that because even the first movie is pretty low. But and then on a side note, again, Hobbs and Shaw, 759. So let's get into it. Are we going to count Hobbs and Shaw as part of the Fast and Furious franchise, or are we going to just split that off to the side?
I feel
No.
like it needs to be. It has. It's a
No,
part of
no.
this. It's a part of the series. All the characters are Fast and Furious characters,
No,
and
no,
they
no,
go.
no, no.
They're.
Like
I can.
my
Okay.
okay.
I'm no. Okay, look, what's the rationale for keeping Hobbs and Shaw out?
This okay. This is my rationale for keeping Hobbs and Shaw. Okay, there's a lot of characters in the Fast and Furious franchise,
Yes.
but we all know there is one main character that is even in Tokyo Drift. He had a small appearance. That is Dominic Toretto, right? Where was Dom in Hobbs and Shaw?
It's not about Dom. It's about Hobbs and Shaw.
No.
It's about the two. It's about the two spy-ish
Oh,
characters
I'm
that
saying-
go off on an adventure.
But with no
I'm saying
Dom,
give it its own movie though.
you're not really
That's-
okay. Okay.
That is my
Shep,
opinion.
do you
Give it its own
feel-
movie.
Interesting.
Let's ask.
There's
this.
family. There was family in that movie. There was cars.
Of course, there's family. That's come on.
There's-
you ain't
there's
making-
So
always
okay,
Right.
then it's a Fast and Furious.
No,
There's
no, no,
cars.
listen.
There's
No.
family.
Okay, Shep, wait, let's hear
ridiculous
the
stunts.
biggest fan. Let's hear the biggest fan.
You have to look at it like this, okay? Listen, Hobbs and Shaw happens in the same universe as Fast and Furious. It does
Yes.
not belong as a part of the series.
Oh,
Like-
okay.
Thank you.
said.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
not in the numbered series. It's in the same universe. Same
How you
thing
gonna-
that Disney
how you
did
gonna
with
have this-
Star Wars.
How
When
can
they
have a
created
discussion
that
about
Star Wars
it
movie,
being
they
an
split it off.
MCU like franchise if we're not counting movies in the franchise? That's
Because it's not an MCU. Like the MCU franchise, like it has a ton of one-offs. You got the Iron Mans, right? You got all the little one-offs. Then they come together for the Avengers.
Mhm.
The Fast series is opposite. You have the Fast and Furious series, and then
Right.
you've got the little spin-offs and whatnot. But when
There
you're
you go.
talking about the Fast and the Furious, you just have the Hobbs and the Shaw, right? The Fast and the Furious has got to have both the Vin and the Diesel. Like his name was meant to do these movies.
Well, okay, that's actually a good point. Like Shinobi, you wouldn't call the Avengers an Iron Man movie. It's the Avengers,
Right.
but the Iron Man movies they got a bunch of those. So that makes me. I was kind of on your side, Shinobi, but now that makes sense. I do agree.
Mhm.
So okay, so from now on,
Okay.
we're not really gonna. We'll give you guys. If you really want a Hobbs and Shaw show, we'll do a separate show for that. But we got too many of these jokers to get through. All right, so let me quickly give, brief synopsis to run you through everything. 2001 Fast and Furious, Brian O'Connor, Paul Walker, undercover cop tasked with discovering a group of unknown automobile hijackers led by Dominic Toretto, who is Vin Diesel. Too Fast, Too Furious is 2003. Brian O'Connor and Roman Pierce, who is Tyrese Gibson, team up to go undercover for the U.S. Customs Service to bring down a drug lord. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. High school and car enthusiast Sean Boswell, played by Lucas Black, is sent to live in Tokyo with his father and finds solace in the city's drifting community. Fast and Furious, 2009. FBI agent Brian O'Connor and Dominic Toretto are forced to work together to avenge the murder of Toretto's lover, Letty Ortiz, played by Michelle Rodriguez. Fast 5. Dominic, Brian, and Mia Toretto, played by Jordana Brewster, plan a heist to steal $100 million from a corrupt businessman, Herman Reyes, while being pursued for arrest by diplomatic security service agent Luke Hobbs, played by Dwayne Johnson. Fast and Furious 6, Dom, Brian, and their team are offered amnesty for their crimes by Hobbs in exchange for helping him take down a skilled mercenary led by Owen Shaw, who is Luke Evans. Fast 7, Deckard Shaw, the brother of Owen, a rogue special force assassin, seeks to avenge his brother and puts Dominic and the team in peril once again. The Fate of the Furious, 2017. I'm sorry, I'm not giving the years. Cyber terrorist Charlize Theron coerces Dominic Toretto into working for her and turns him against his team, forcing them to take down Cypher and reunite with him. Fast 9, which we just had, Dominic Toretto and crew must stop a world-shattering plot headed by Cypher and Dominic's estranged younger brother, Jacob, played by John Cena. Now, that is everything very, very, very closely condensed. So here is the thing, guys. We start from the first Fast and Furious. where Dom and the crew, they are hijackers, but it is based around racing, street racing. These guys souped up cars, really nice, really fancy. Brian O'Connor comes into the fray, and he's kind of looking to infiltrate and break down this crew and get into them, played by Paul Walker, rest in peace. And from there, that first movie to where we are now, this crew has added some people and come a long way. Do you guys remember? We'll go Joe, Shep, and Shinobi. Your impressions when you first time you saw the first one, the first Fast and Furious, what you thought about it?
My first impression is I've got to get a 1970 Dodge Charger because that car was invincible. You could drive it through the streets. You could flip it over. That car was invincible. Like that was the movie that got me into like cars and everything. For a brief moment, I thought I could do all of those things in cars until I realized reality, which is something that we don't take seriously in the Fast and Furious franchise. But it was like, the first Fast and Furious was, I think, the closest to actual like street racing and whatnot. But it's not like a movie you watch for like, just cinematic excellence and stuff like that. You watch it for the special effects and stuff. So like that first one, I don't remember how old I was, but like for that time in my life, like that was like, this is the dream. You got the fast car, making fast money and making fast moves. There's nothing much more that you can want.
Yeah, there we go. All right, Shep.
Yeah, I like how you mentioned the special effects. People talk about this, like the special effects in the first one, especially for the time that it came out, was actually pretty dope. It was some pretty dope stuff. And like you said, you don't really necessarily watch it for the big cinematic picture. It's just now I want to learn how to drive stick and go out and just hit 180 as much as possible. That's what that movie was. When initially seeing it, I saw the first one after I watched some of the other ones. Initially, if I would have just saw that movie, I wouldn't have necessarily thought it would have become a series. I definitely wouldn't have thought that. It would have just been like another street racing movie, and there that was. But then, they created it into a series. So yeah.
Shinobi.
I ended up watching the first one, later, kind of like Shep, after I saw some of the other ones. And I couldn't be too mad at the franchise because I realized it's always been like this. like it's always been this ridiculous. And even with the first one, which everyone says it's about street racing, it's still kind of not. there's still organized crime and drug runners, and the biggest threat in the first one is like truckers with a shotgun, but they're still jumping off boats. It's still just as ridiculous. And from 1 to 9, it really is just a logical conclusion that we just hit orbit at the stratosphere. So it set the seeds up.
Well, yeah, they did. They start. I remember when I heard the name of the movie, Fast and the Furious. I was kind of intrigued. I'm like, that sounds like a soap opera or something. Like, what is it going to be? And just for you guys to understand, we got some younger viewers. This is how long ago this was. Ja Rule was basically playing what you know to be Ludacris now. I guess they're contractually obligated to have at least one rapper in this, and so Ja Rule was at the time that guy, which then went to Bow Wow, which then went to Ludacris. But it was the cars were. I thought the cars were unbelievable. I'm not really a car guy. I'm more of a truck guy, but it almost made me want to go soup up like a Toyota, little Camry or something, or do something to, a Nissan Pulsar or whatever, and trick it out. I learned a love for nitrous. I had a young love affair with nitrous and shifting gears. I mean, listen, I don't care what they doing. They didn't been in submarines. They didn't been in trucks. You're going to get that gear shift, baby. You're gonna get
that gear shift.
I mean, just shift there already. Like, why you always got to do an extra shift? You running from so anyway. Okay.
I'm sorry. Just funny story on that. So this was not the first one. This was 3 Tokyo Drift. after watching that, I'm not gonna say who because I don't want to incriminate him, but like me and a friend of mine, we were so gassed up on this movie. We hopped in his car, near like a mall. We thought no one was there, and he's just drifting all around. First, I was like, I didn't know he knew how to do this. We're just drifting around the parking lot. Apparently, you can't do that. We saw some flashing lights, and again, we just saw the movie. So I'm like, listen, we're gonna hop out the car like they do in the movies and dash for it. And that's exactly what we did. We hopped out, we dashed for it. We left one man behind, unfortunately. But that happens in the movies. But that was the impact that these movies had on a younger version of me. That it doesn't get any better than that.
The grip it had on teenage boy.
Yeah, I didn't. That's
exactly,
man. It's a great story.
17 years.
Okay, so guys, of course, as you heard us previously discuss, this movie, there is a movie he's not in, but this whole franchise is Vin Diesel, aka Dominic Toretto. From the first time you see him at the cafe, when Brian O'Connor comes in, he's reading the paper, all the way through, the ageless Vin Diesel has been the crux of this movie. Vin Diesel, he had a career before this. He was doing movies. He was known. I knew of Vin Diesel, but this really just took him to a next stratosphere. Now, I've heard people debate his acting prowess. And let's keep it real. This is a Shakespeare. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how much range you need, but let me ask you. We'll go backwards. Shinobi, Shep, Joe, what is your feeling of the character Dom Toretto and the actor Vin Diesel?
I think. Okay, so this role, I did some research, was made for Vin Diesel specifically. I've heard he was recruited just off of his name because his last name was Diesel. Like it all kind of played into it. So knowing that this whole role was made for Vin Diesel, it really doesn't matter where his acting chops are because the range doesn't really go much. It's family in the first one, and then it's family in F9. It's perfect for him. I can't see anyone else playing Dom Toretto. That being said, like there is this like surge of like buff bald guys getting into the acting game. Just you got your Dwayne The Rock Johnson was also in this movie, and you're like they get better over time, not by a lot, but that's kind of what my thoughts are about it.
Shep.
Yeah, something I love. That's one thing when I do watch movies, I love character development, right? How did you write the character? Who is he at the beginning and who is he at the end? But starting off just with his character, it's written with irony because this is a buff, like Shinobi said, a buff, bald dude, huge. Like first seeing him, you'd be terrified of him. But he's all extremely about family. He's about loving and caring and watching over kids. And it's the irony of the character in and of itself that I think makes him a complex character, which makes him usually an inherently good character. And then from the first of the series all the way to the end, he stays the same. The way he if I can put it like the way he deals with it kind of changes, or how much rage he gives for when things go left field versus the way it's supposed to go. That changes throughout the series, but from the beginning to the end, he's always about family. So it's a stagnant character, which some people would say like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But I think for this series, it works.
For sure. Like, I don't really want to hear anyone else whispering for a good like hour and a half but Vin Diesel. I think he's the only person he comes to. We don't really know what he's saying. But I think Todd said it best. Like, this was made for like Rocky. Like, personally, I don't think Sylvester Stallone is like the greatest actor of all time. But I don't want to see anybody else playing Rocky. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was made for him. He wrote it like that was made for him. I feel like it's the same thing with Vin Diesel. Like, this role is like almost, it's like synonymous with who he is. Like, you think of like different like characters in film and TV. Certain characters, like it's like it's synonymous with who they are. So yeah, I think Shep said it best. Like it's a role that was meant for him. Like like I said, as far as like acting chops, you're not really looking for this great Academy Award winning. Like you're looking for Dominic Toretto, and I think like he embodies that perfectly.
Yeah, I would have to say there's like you say, you got Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, Keanu Reeves, The Matrix. You play a guy for 8 movies, you own it. I mean, he's been playing. I don't know an actor. Even the James Bond ones, they switched to James Bond after a while. I don't know. He might be up there for the record, but he does. He has a presence. Like when he comes on scene, he doesn't have to really speak a lot. He does have a look and a command, which you definitely need for the lead guy of a crew. So that is very credible. Again, like I said, he's not playing with Daniel Day-Lewis opposite some period piece in Ireland in 1903. So, you know what I mean? It fits the muscle look, the muscle car, all of that. So, and the thing is, I think he's actually kind of a good, I've seen him in other things and I've enjoyed him, but he's kind of just this guy now. So now let's get to the rest of the crew. Now that is, like we said, we've had some changes, some lineup changes, some things like that. I want you guys, I'll give mine first to give you guys a chance to think. I'm going to ask you who your favorite supporting cast member is and who is your least favorite supporting cast member. Okay, so for me, my favorite, we're not going to even include Paul Walker, because Paul Walker we're going to have a conversation about him later. So we're going to keep Paul Walker out. That goes without saying. But my favorite, I really, surprisingly, I do enjoy Tyrese, but my favorite is probably Michelle Rodriguez, because I think she works good with him. She's tough. It's the stunts they do are way over the top, but some of the things is at least plausible for her, because she is like, she's got a kind of a tomboyish thing, but she is Dom's girl. And you would think Dom's girl would be like him. She kind of embodies it, you know what I'm saying? She'll fight, all that stuff. She not for no games. So my favorite, I would say, is Letty, played by Michelle Rodriguez. All right, so we'll start with you, Shep.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a question first. Does the character it has to be one that's been through all the series, or could it could be
whoever you want?
That's a good question.
Okay. Just keeping that in mind, because
Letty ain't in all of them. So yeah, whoever you want.
Because I may need to know, like I saw the newer ones before I saw the older ones, so I kind of have But that being said, I think it's going to be Tyrese Gibson, and it may just be because of his relationship with Ludacris. I like that back and forth. I think is absolutely fantastic. But Tyrese's character is the one that initiates it all the time. He's the one that whenever there's like a high pressured moment in the movie, he'll take it down completely by cracking a joke, giving a one-liner or something like that. So I really enjoy his character.
The comic relief is needed. It is needed.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Joe, who you got?
I agree with you. I think Letty is close to being my favorite, just because of how they just one off each other. Like it's the perfect mix. Which is why it was kind of weird when Dom was with someone else, because I'm so used to him being with Letty. But if I had to pick my favorite, I would say Mr. Hobbs, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, only because like that Fast Five like ushered in like we're not street racers anymore. Like it was like it kind of switched to series. And to be honest, like The Rock, he had been in movies obviously before that, but like I remember when they announced it, like The Rock is gonna hop in the Fast series. I was like, I don't really. I mean, like obviously, like we're not looking for these great actors. Like I don't know if he's gonna really fit. And he killed it, and then he got his own spinoff. So, and then just like the way, as Todd said, 2 buff bald dudes just doing ridiculous, falling out of buildings and what. Like, obviously, nothing in the Fast series is realistic, but at least makes it somewhat realistic when someone is like landing and crashing into a moving car. It's like, okay, he's like 275 pounds, so it kind of makes it realistic. So. I would say Hobbs.
All right, Shinobi, who you got?
I am also putting Hobbs as my number one, just because. Listen, although my favorite one is 5, and I won't ever forget when he has that cast and he's like, "I gotta go save the world," and then he just decides to break it. He doesn't break. He flexes and it falls off. I was like, "This is so ridiculous." And the thing is, this movie was so serious. Up until that point, I'm like. Yeah.
Well, okay, Shinobi, that's a great point. See, this is Fast and Furious in a nutshell. He could have like broke the thing on something and broke out.
Yes.
But see, no. Fast and Furious always got to be extra with it. So just flex.
That was a stunt in and of itself. Any
other director would just say, break it off on a table. You still look tough. But no.
Use one hand to rip. He flexes and it disintegrates. You watch it. It like disintegrates off of his bicep. I'm like, what? This is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
But for like context, like he broke his arm by falling out of like what was like a building, and he landed on a car, and the only thing he got was a broken arm. And then after like a week, is like, oh, skip all this.
Said a broken arm is not only just not broken, but strong enough to flex out of its own.
He diagnosed himself. Like the doctor just said, time to go to work, and bam, just broke. Okay, so there we go. Good answers. We got Letty, we got Tyrese, we got Roman, I guess we call him.
Oh yeah, Roman.
We Joe, you said Letty.
Hobbs.
You said Hobbs, and then you said Hobbs. Okay, so in reverse order, your least favorite character in the series, Shinobi.
Okay, my least favorite character is because this is one of my favorite actors. Charlize Theron looks absolutely ridiculous in every movie she's been in.
Wow! Ooh, shots fired.
I love Charlize Theron. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite actors. But them dreads in the Dominican Republic, it was, and the undercut in the next film. I was like, why y'all do this to this lady? Why y'all do this? Why?
I forgot about the dreads. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I couldn't let the dreads go. Listen, I know she's South African by descent, but I'm like, it's not doing you no favors here, Charlize. Yeah, and then she's like, oh, surprise, you have another buff, not bald brother, John Cena is your brother. Surprise.
I was surprised when she was cast for this movie because we were like, she got in like on 7, and I was like, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're like nearing the end here.
Yeah. Keep getting them checks, Charlize. All right. So we'll go Shep, your least favorite.
Least favorite. That's tough. I like one thing I love about the Fast and Furious group is like they work together as a family and each person supplies an essential role to the family. The least favorite character, that's tough.
Shep can literally not say anything bad about 9 movies. He had nothing negative to say about it.
Contractually obligated. Not even Bow Wow, apparently.
That's true. No, that's true. Him,
Bow Wow and his flip phone were great.
That's true. Yeah, especially him in the earlier movies too. Yeah, he doesn't really add anything to. Well, I'll put it like that. He doesn't really add anything to the series to me, so that I guess I can classify him as the worst character.
Wait, who'd you say?
Favorite character. Bow Wow.
Bow Wow. Okay. All right. All right, Joe. Who you got?
So I mean, Bow Wow obviously I think is an easy choice for most Fast and Furious fans. I want to kind of be a little controversial. Because as much as I was not a fan of Bow Wow, a lot of people are throwing John Cena under the bus for this newest movie. I'm sorry, Shep. I'm going to have to say Roman. Well, no, I'm sorry. Not Roman. I'm going to have to say the actual man, Tyrese Gibson. The reason for it is for the foolishness that this man ensued. This whole beef he had with The Rock. And because of this, we may not see Dwayne The Rock Johnson in what I am assuming will be called FX. I have a huge problem with that, and I feel like it's because You wasn't in 9. You know, they got this whole beef. Tyrese said if Dwayne's in it, I'm not going to be in it. So he put out his statement. And I mean, listen, Tyrese is great, but I mean, come on, who are the people coming to see? So for that reason, I have not necessarily Roman, but Tyrese Gibson. I have him on the chopping blocks as
I
the
respect
worst
that
character.
so much.
Ain't nobody coming to see you. Otis is basically.
Ain't nobody.
You are.
Nobody coming to see you.
Okay, now my least favorite. I just want to say this. I very much respect this person. Seems like a very good person. Does some good work. Person is very skilled in their other occupation. But I'm going to tell you right now. Ludacris is the worst.
What?
Oh no!
Totally not needed. No. Totally. At least Tyrese is saying funny stuff. Ludacris is just laughing at Tyrese. Hey, what you doing, homie? Like we don't need it. First of all,
he's a martial arts expert and computer hacker.
No, he's
and
not.
the computer hacker.
He is a mechanic.
He starts doing martial arts in like the 6th movie. He's
all of a sudden from twisting a Phillips head screwdriver. Now he knows all this tech stuff, and then he is now G.I. Joe. Apparently,
he's a martial arts expert. Well, he was in that truck.
Overall,
I'm
saying overall, they're all martial arts experts.
They are.
By about
they are. And I'm on,
when needed, they have superpowers.
Please remind me to get on Mia's F9 fighting skills that came out. Like, listen, if Letty gonna fight, fine. Y'all can't have Mia breaking a grown man. I'm gonna get to that later. I'm just saying, listen. They say if you watch Raiders of the Lost Ark with Indiana Jones, they say if you take Indiana Jones out of the movie, everything still happens in Raiders of the Lost Ark. The Germans still find the Ark. They find the Ark without Indiana Jones. They steal it without him. They use it without him, and then they all die because the Ark killed. He does nothing, and I feel like we could have got by without Tyrese. I mean, without Ludacris. He's just everything. I just can't. Like, again, great rapper, man. All of that, keep your rapping up, but just
Roman Pierce wasn't gonna go in space alone.
There you go. See, there you go. You see, like, I feel like is Ludacris a great actor? Absolutely not. No. But he's a stereotype.
He has some contributions.
No one expects the black dude with the fro to be out there cracking codes and whatnot. He doesn't say much. He doesn't really do much. But when Roman needs someone to like laugh at his jokes, that's why you bring Ludacris in.
I like the 2 Latino dudes from F5 and 4 way better. I just feel okay, so that's me.
That's a good point.
That's who I'm rocking with. So let's recap one more time. Shinobi, you said Charlize Theron. God help you. Shep, you went Bow Wow. Joe, you went Tyrese. I'm going Ludacris. There we go. Okay, guys, we're gonna have to make this a 2-parter because we still got to get to. Of course, our whole segment on Brian, we're going to give shout-outs to Paul Walker, of course, what we think about him. We have still another category, the craziest stunts in this franchise. And Lord Jesus, I don't know if we might do 3 shows. And we got to give you guys our top 3 of the series. So we will stop here. We're going to come back with a whole nother one, our part 2 on the Fast and Furious series. Okay, stay with us. We'll be back next week. All right, thanks.